Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed his solidarity with Azerbaijan in his nightly video address on Tuesday. According to Associated Press, his comment came after Azerbaijan's Interior Ministry told local media that 7 people linked to a Kremlin-funded media outlet in Baku have been detained after a Monday raid on its office. It's the latest sign of a deepening rift between Moscow and Baku over the deaths of 2 ethnic Azerbaijanis in Russian custody last week. Tensions have been growing since December, when an Azerbaijani passenger jet was attacked as it approached the regional capital of the Russian Republic of Chechnya. It later crashed, killing 38 of 67 people aboard. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev blamed Moscow. On Friday, 2 ethnic Azerbaijanis died in police custody in the Russian city of Yekaterinburg during an investigation of decades-old crimes. All our partners must view this in the same way, not as a threat to one country, but as a threat to everyone, to all those neighboring Russia, said Zelensky. He called Aliyev to express his condolences, according to local media.
У нас є чітка інформація, і партнери це підтверджують, що санкції для Росії дійсно болісні. І якщо тиск ще збільшити, це буде спонукати Росію справді думати про щось ще, окрім фронту та ненависті до сусідів. Сьогодні говорив з президентом Азербайджану Ільхамом Алієвим. Я подякував йому за підтримку України, нашої незалежності, нашої територіальної цілісності. А також висловив Азербайджану повну нашу підтримку і солідарність. Зараз Росія розпалює нову кампанію ворожнечі проти сусідів, і після жорсткого вбивства в Росії 2 людей з азербайджанської громади ще й погрожує азербайджанській державі. Треба, щоб всі партнери однаково це сприймали. Сприймали як загрозу не комусь одному, а всім. Всім, хто поруч з Росією. Вбиваючи одних та принижуючи інших, Росія намагається залякати і підкорити всіх.
Relations between Azerbaijan and Russia are rapidly deteriorating, following harsh statements from official Baku and the closure of Russian cultural events in Azerbaijan. Russian propagandists are now openly resorting to the language of threats and ultimatums. The scandalous Kremlin mouthpiece Sergei Mardan stated on Telegram that Baku has always been a Russian city and hinted at the possibility of a punitive operation against Azerbaijan. Russia graciously allowed the son of a former member of the Politburo of the CPSU Central Committee to defeat unarmed Karabakh. But mercy that is not backed up by bayonets is not appreciated by Asians. Mardan also suggested thinking about the safety of shipping and oil production in the Caspian and about taxes for 2 million Azerbaijanis working in Russia. Such statements are perceived in Baku as a direct attempt at economic and political pressure. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan's state television channel, AZTV, has shown hard-hitting footage of Russia recruiting migrants to fight in Ukraine. The broadcast claims that recruits' families are being threatened, beaten and intimidated, and that they are never compensated. Ukrainian military expert Alexander Kovalenko responded to Mardan's words with caustic sarcasm. "We've arrived. The station is a mental hospital. Get out." Russian propagandists call Baku a Russian city. This is a classic of the genre. When Russia sees an independent policy, it immediately looks for reasons to protect the Russian-speaking population. With this approach, Beijing and Tokyo will soon be called their own. Against the backdrop of a growing diplomatic and information conflict, Azerbaijan is demonstrating its determination to defend its independence and continue its rapprochement with Turkey and the West. The Kremlin, judging by the rhetoric of its propagandists, is increasingly falling into hysteria when its neighbors refuse to submit to its blackmail. Earlier, Baku had made accusations against Moscow about repressions. A personal appeal to Putin was also made. Azerbaijani mass media also accused the Russian Federation of an aggressive policy towards other nations. In addition, the journalists who prepared the much-talked-about anti-Russian report drew parallels in the actions of law enforcement agencies under Putin's current regime with Stalin's time, when the punitive organs of the USSR seized people and threw them behind bars on trumped-up charges. A comparison was also made with the actions of the security forces in the Russian Empire under the Tsars. You are used to dominating peoples who were forcibly incorporated into Russia. In Tsarist or Soviet times, Russians were the main race, and the rest were second-class citizens. Although most empires are a thing of the past, the mentality has remained. In the past, Stalin used the NKVD. Now Putin uses OMON. Azerbaijani journalists say. By the way, after the incident with the detention of Azerbaijanis by Russians, official Baku cancelled all cultural events related to the Russian Federation. More than 15 trucks with Chechens arrived in the temporarily occupied Mariupol recently. They were transferred from the aggressor country Russia. This was reported by the head of the Center for the Study of Occupation, Petr Andriushchenko. He noted that, according to the information he has, the Russian occupiers are planning to transfer the newly arrived Chechens to the Zaporizhia region for attacks. 15-plus military trucks with Chechens arrived in Mariupol from the territory of the Russian Federation yesterday. According to information from our sources, they should move to the Zaporizhia region, Energodar, Melitopol, Vasilyevka area today or tomorrow for rotation, the report says. Andriushchenko noted that this is the largest detachment of Chechens recorded in Mariupol since 2023. Another confirmation of the maximum logistical materialization of the city, he added. There are also opinions that by throwing the Chechens into battle, President Vladimir Putin wants to weaken Ramzan Kadyrov. In other words, Putin is punishing Kadyrov in this way. Ramzan Kadyrov, the permanent leader of Chechnya since 2007 and Vladimir Putin's loyal foot soldier, recently announced his claim to rule the republic for life, Russian media reported. Meanwhile, his term of office expires in 2026, and its extension is not provided for by the country's legislation. The Kremlin is silent on this matter. Ramzan Kadyrov was simply pushed to make such a statement by his own inadequacy, calling a spade, says former political prisoner, co-chairman of the Memorial Human Rights Center, Oleg Orlov. Orlov used to visit Chechnya often, and at one time he sued the head of the republic, who accused the human rights activist of slander and won the case, which is impossible to imagine today. For several years now, Kadyrov has been committing completely wild and stupid acts that go beyond all common sense, even according to the norms of Putin's Russia. He added in an interview with the Russian service of The Voice of America, "I associate this, among other things, with the long-term illness of the ruler of Chechnya. He awards his son with orders, appoints him to high positions, and ensures that his successor is awarded by the heads of other regions. This only causes laughter and dull irritation in everyone. This is obvious inadequacy. It is clear that he wants to ensure succession in this way, but this is completely out of line.